Good afternoon. My name is Sophia. I am a Marketing and Program Associate here at Mass Energy and People's Power and Light. Mass Energy and People's Power and Light are sister energy advocacy organizations in Massachusetts and Rhode Island, respectively. We are a nonprofit buyers group that offers a discount heating oil service. So feel free to check out our membership online at ripower.org/heating-oil. If you're already a member, thank you. Our members make our service possible, so don't forget to spread the word for a $25 referral credit with your dealer. I would like to welcome you to the second webinar in our series. Throughout the first section of the webinar, your mics will be on mute. I invite you to write any questions that you may have in our chat section so that we can answer them when we reach the Q&A section of our webinar. The presentation should run for about 10 minutes, and then we'll have another 5 to 10 minutes for a Q&A section at the end. After the webinar, we will send out a follow-up email with the links to more resources and information. So you can look forward to that as well. Today we'll be answering the question, what is price gouging, and laying out how you can avoid it. All right. So what is it and how to avoid it? We'll be going through the basics of oil pricing, defining price gouging, and explaining our pricing model here at Mass Energy and People's Power and Light, and then discussing the benefits of a budget plan. All right, so oil prices 101. Oil prices are calculated based on a few indicators. The cost of crude oil, the cost of refining plus the dealer's profits, and the cost of distribution and marketing, as you can see here in this illustration. This chart shows the cost of crude oil for these four main reasons. Seasonality in the demand for oil prices are stable. Home heating oil prices tend to rise in the winter months when the demand is highest. A homeowner in the Northeast might use 850 gallons or 1,200 gallons of heating oil during a typical winter. And even then, they may consume very little during the rest of the year. So the rise in crude oil prices, or when crude oil prices are stable, demand can actually create a rise in prices due to seasonality alone. Changes in the cost of crude oil. So the cost of crude oil is also a major component of the price of heating oil. Crude oil prices are determined by worldwide supply and demand. Demand can vary worldwide based on the economy and the weather, in addition to other factors. Supply can be influenced by weather events in the United States and by political events in other countries. The supply of oil produced by members of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, or OPEC, can also affect world crude oil prices. Competition in local markets. The number of heating oil suppliers in a particular region can affect the level of price competition in that area. Heating oil prices and service offerings can vary substantially in locations with few suppliers compared to areas with a large number of competing suppliers. Consumers in rural locations might pay a higher price for heating oil because there are fewer competitors. And then last but not least, regional operating costs. Heating oil prices also are affected by the cost of delivering heating oil to remote locations. The cost of doing business by dealers can vary substantially depending on the area of the country where the dealer is located. or the area of the state. So what is price gouging? Price gouging is the practice of artificially raising the price of products or goods under conditions of scarcity or high demand. In the case of oil, that means the availability of specific dealers or the availability of or the need of oil. So in other words, rising prices, when a dealer raises prices when there are few alternatives nearby, which could be meaning that they might be the only dealer in the area, and or raising prices when demand for the product is unusually high. This can be a result of weather, natural disasters, man-made disasters, etc. For example, when an oil dealer is one of the only options to residents in the area, they might feel more comfortable, the dealer that is, might feel more comfortable raising the price at will, or simply not lowering the price of oil even when the wholesale cost of crude has come down. Another common condition for price gouging is during harsh winter weather, when the demand for oil is very high, and when many folks who are purchasing oil would find it extremely difficult to find another oil dealer at short notice, who would be able to deliver the oil during their time of need. So lack of competition and high demand are huge factors when it comes to price gouging. So how can you avoid price gouging? By becoming a member of our discount heating oil service. So this chart is a good illustration of members' savings during the winter. Again, 90% of our members take one delivery in January and February. As you know, this is the peak of the winter when you're likely to run out of oil and require a delivery. Over the past 3 years, Mass Energy members saved an average of 38 cents per gallon. And People's Power and Light members saved an average of 31 cents per gallon. And you can see here clearly January, February, when the Rhode Island statewide average was pretty even and it did go down, our members' prices went significantly down because they followed the cost of crude oil and not basically, it didn't, yeah, members were able to take advantage of the dips in the cost of crude oil because dealers were not allowed to raise their profit margins at will. So our program is based on a pricing model that uses the daily price. So the question that we like to ask is, why pay the daily price? It's as simple as the famed expression, don't put all your eggs in one basket. When you lock in at one single price, or when you join a program that chooses one price, you miss out to take advantage of the fluctuations in the market as opportunities to save on the cost of oil throughout the year. Our service uses the dollar cost averaging method, where you will not always get the best price at any particular time, which is statistically nearly impossible no matter what you do, but on average, over time, you'll get the best price on the market can deliver. That's how our members are consistently able to save year after year over the long term. So in this example, you can see how the total cost for gallons averaged out to $1.89 per gallon, which is a very good price. when over the year the price fluctuated and it followed the cost of crude oil, the member was still able to save and save big. As you can see from these charts, we have a long record of providing consistent savings over the past decade. For 37 years and counting, we've recommended paying the price on the day as a Mass Energy member with one of our fine full-service dealers. You might not pay the lowest price every time, but you will pay a fair price every time. And over time, you'll be sure to save money. And the same goes for Rhode Island with People's Power and Light's discount heating oil service. So once you've become a member, we also recommend that you ask yourself if a budget plan is right for you. On a budget plan, you pay your heating oil dealer a set amount every month. The amount you pay is calculated by your average oil consumption and the average price of oil. As you know, oil prices and your oil usage won't be the same every year. Therefore, any excess funds or money owed gets settled at the end of each heating season. Most dealers tend to review your budget plan during the heating season to check whether you're paying too much or not enough, which helps to avoid any surprises at the end of the season. On a budget plan, your monthly oil payment becomes as predictable as your rent or car payments. So in this example, if you purchase 725 gallons of oil over the course of the year at an average price of $1.89, your monthly payments would be somewhere around $140. At the end of the year, you would be reimbursed about $30. Or you can apply that payment towards your next year's budget plan. So check out our discount heating oil service. If you're not a member and you want to be, just go to massenergy.org/call-me to learn more about our program, or to learn more about our program today, type yes in the chat screen, and one of our staff members can reach out to you. So now we would like to take this opportunity to open up the floor to your questions. We are going to unmute the mics. And if anybody has any questions, now's the time to share. All right, so one of the common questions that we get regarding a budget plan is, when do you start the budget plan? So at the end of the season, usually, you've paid off all of your debts, and so you're waiting, and maybe you're not thinking about next season. So usually with the budget plan, you'll begin paying into your budget for the next season around August or September. So the earlier the better when you're doing a budget plan to get started on paying in. And so basically what that means is, by the time you accept your first delivery of oil, you've probably already paid for it. So your dealer's got enough of a credit on file that they feel comfortable and making that delivery, and you know that it's going to be paid for, and you get to pay the daily price, which basically means that if you are trying to save as much as you can on oil, paying the daily price and paying the same day actually gets you the cheapest price. So usually a dealer will offer a cash on delivery price, which is about 5 to 10 So it can be 5 to 10 cents cheaper than their 30-day billing price, which can help you to save even more over the course of the heating season. Does anybody else have any other questions? So let's see, a common question about our program is whether or not we have to sign any contracts in order to become a member. So the answer is no. When you become a member, basically what you do is you are joining and opting to get assigned one of our dealers in our network. All of our dealers are full service, which means that they can offer you maintenance and cleaning if need be. You do not have to sign a contract, so that means that if you choose to buy oil from a different dealer who is not in our network, you're not signing to say that you will only be working with our dealer. So the perk to that is that you get discounts without having to remain inflexible. So you can kind of do what you are interested in doing. You do not have to stick with the same dealer the whole heating season if you don't want to, or if that makes you feel uncomfortable. So no contracts when you become a member, but you do get the discount pricing all year round. And we like to encourage our members to take advantage of that to the best of their ability. Okay. So if there aren't any other questions, I think we can end our webinar. If you do have any questions moving forward, please feel free to reach out to us. Again, give us a call or check out our website for more information about our programs. We can be reached in our Massachusetts office at 617-524-3950 during regular business hours, or in our Rhode Island office of People's Power and Light at 401-861-6111. Thank you again for attending our webinar on price gouging, and we hope it was helpful. Please feel free to reach out to us in the future. All right, take care. Bye-bye.